Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the 1600 AD Colonialism mod. Last time around, we attacked Paris. Didn't go too great, as per most battles. They're so bloody, so there's hard to really follow anything up afterwards. So we're back in Brussels, recuperating our army. And I think there's a change of strategy. Now we probably could go there again, but I have decided that since France only really controls the French region, which is the entirety of France, and the Metz region, or the region around Metz, if we take out Metz and then take out Paris, possibly with even more troops being sent in, as I'm hoping to have gained more land in the New World, which will turn more profit, leading to more armies and so on. And then attacking, which would completely destroy France as a nation. We would loot Paris, get a load of money that I could invest in my own country. We would probably tear up quite a few buildings, and then would leave it to revolt and it to come back again, as it were. Or maybe if I siege it, I can turn them into a protectorate. Anyways, we've got a bit of different stuff. Anyway, but the army here is recuperating, so there's no place right now being done in Europe. It's all gonna be in the New World, and if we go over to the New World, we're laying siege to Niagara, and according to this, it's a pretty easy match. I don't think I can demand surrender because it's the last place. So it's 900 of our men versus 1400 of theirs. Now most of theirs are militia units. So that should be pretty easy. At the same time, the army over at Fort Detroit has moved all the way down to Fort Chartres in Upper Louisiana. And we just took that as well. A little bit unhappy. Lots of cotton being produced here. We'll be able to sell that. We got a big fort. Very nice territory. One of the funny thing is they managed to actually build cobble roads. And actually before I took it, they were planning on building metal roads. So that's pretty odd. I don't know why you would spend that on such a remote area. Now my spy did manage to get down here, but he was actually executed in New Orleans. So they've got heavy militia, which I'm not entirely sure what that is, but they do have guns, even though it looks like pike infantry. So they've got some pretty sizable force down in New Orleans, and as you can see by the New Orleans area, they've got the metalled roads here. So the French have gone ahead and spent loads of money on the few territories they have left. The army that I have here, I don't think is enough to go ahead and try to defeat all of this. So we would have to wait for the secondary army to arrive here. Now, I was actually thinking of out-resolving this one because I wanted it to go as quickly as possible. But I think to make sure that we do not end up in any kind of trouble where this army would accidentally die or something, we'll play it for ourselves. The thing is, we've already seen kind of what happens with the Iroquois nation as we fight them. These armed tribesmen are completely useless and will just go ahead and die. The only unit that I can even imagine doing a bit of damage on us is probably the bowmen. But there's so few in number, so it's really only the general that would maybe cause some problem. With all of that said, let's go ahead and fight this battle and get this over with, so we can conquer more of the New World. Well, there's not much to it. Let's go ahead and kill these savages. We will advance. The barrage. Well, it took out quite a few of them. Probably should have aimed for the general instead. Got my cavalry advancing as well. So we got 3 units of Colonial pike and 1 unit of matchlock infantry. We're gonna advance enough forward that the cannons can fire over us, which seems to be fine right about now, and we want to stop so that we can actually go ahead and fire a few times with the musketmen. Right, hold right there. Oh, the bloody pikes advanced too far. Move back a bit. Oh, I think we shot 5 of our own men there. Great. We might have shot more of our own than of the enemy. Form pike walls. Oh, the cannons are now firing on our own troops. That's great. And it looks like we're not going to be able to get any more shots off. Time to retreat those guys. Send in the cavalry. And now the natives attack the pike wall. Go ahead and hold the fire. All we'll try to do is flank. So we got one enemy unit over there. If they push further, I can send in the general. A pike wall is holding. And we're cutting them down. They're unable to penetrate. A cavalry seems to be doing fine. Okay, they are just gonna go ahead and attack in the flank. I'm gonna send in the general to break these guys up. Oh, and throw a few of my musketmen far, far away. I think we actually killed quite a few of our own there by charging the unit through. Not a clever play, but all in a day's work. Alright, let's see. Enemy cavalry is getting through. I don't like that. I'm gonna tell my cavalry to retreat together with the general. And well, let's see if we can get the musketmen to line up behind there and shoot at the enemy. Tell the cannon crew can actually stay in the fight, can't they? Because they usually fight pretty good. And I do think my musketmen will actually stand against these guys. So there's already a bit of a break in the native line. One unit has lost almost everyone and they're pulling back. The center line, which is the one that was most heavily attacked, has only lost 25 men. Comparatively, they've killed hundreds of natives. General is stuck in fighting the enemy general. That cannon crew is actually down to 7 people. So we might want to tell that one to go back. And the enemy was cut down over there. Musketmen to the front. Anyone moving away from the battle? Right, there goes the enemy general, Ogenma. Or Ogerma. Whatever. The natives are running. The chief is dead. Let's give them a send-off volley, and we won this battle within 5 minutes. Fire when ready. Right, you guys don't want to fire? Pike line will dissolve and attack the general. Make sure that the remnants of the enemy bodyguard does not kill our own general. There he is. And the enemy bodyguard routs, riding straight into the pikes that are now moving to intercept them. How come the battle has not been won yet by us? It's because, just like last time, they decide to send in just the weaker troops first. And now the actual battle-hardened troops of the tribe are attacking. Pretty odd strategy. Even now that the general lies dead. Oh, it's bowmen. We'll let them march into our range. And then we'll fire as when they get as close as possible. Probably tell the cannons to hold fire. They'll just tear through our own unit. It's 54 men marching forwards. Oh, they halt. They released their volley. They killed quite a few of ours. We killed quite a few of them. Call back the cavalry. Let's have the provincial cavalry move back and attack these guys from the rear. Soon I will actually have fire by rank. I'm not entirely sure if I like fire by rank because it causes so much trouble with everyone waiting for that one guy named Bob to reload. With more enemy troops sighted all the way over there, we're gonna open fire with the cannons. See if we can't hit some of them. I do think... Oh, shit. Provincial cavalry. Oh, they only lost one guy. I think if I send in the provincial cavalry now from the back, we might be able to dispel these guys. And then we'll wait for these guys to gather up strength to fire a volley into the enemy. Provincial cavalry cutting down the enemy as best they can. They routed. And there's still some bastards left. Right. Fired well. Okay, so the enemy is trying to bypass us through the forest. And they got one unit over there. March to the attack. Oh yeah, cannons. Hold fire at this point. You'll only hurt yourself. And our own men. The enemy tribesmen now face off with the pikes line. And we're still firing here against the bow unit. These guys are probably going to do worse as they march straight into the pike line. Okay, so this unit's already breaking. Continue after, follow into those bowmen. The enemy were broken over there. I guess send in the general and have him ride down the bowmen. Hold fire. Do not shoot our own governor. I think we'll continue on to this one and then we'll let them fire at what remains here. Just as soon as my general has passed. And then we'll hit this unit. And we'll have routed the enemy. And that would be it for the Iroquois. Rendering the Cherokee the only North American native... No, not at all actually. We do have the Hurons still. But they are way up north at this point. The Cherokee is the only viable North American Indian enemy. That's what I should say. Right, let's go back to the campaign map and see what kind of moves we can make. Here's the result of the battle. So still pretty bloody. We lost 1/3 of our men, 241 out of 900, while the enemy lost everything. Good chevrons gained all around. Highest killer was Colonial pikemen. The unit in the center. They lost 35 men but killed 380 enemies. And with that, the Powhatan Confederacy is no more. And we captured the Algonquin territory. We're gonna go ahead and change some stuff around and make the province European. So those are the only buildings that we needed to change. Cobblestone Road is probably needed to make swift transfer of troops as we're gonna march further south. At this point, it might be an idea to not try to go this way and try to go around the Cherokee, but go directly at them to march into Cherokee territory and just get rid of them. They haven't been able to gather any kind of strong force, and then we will combine our troops, so we'll meet them right about here, then we'll combine them, move down to Savannah, Georgia. At the point we capture Georgia, we will complete the quest, so we'll get all of this territory. So massive boon to our country. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, or maybe even more, 6, 7 provinces will join us, and then we can move down, take Florida. Then we would have completed most of the quests that we need to hold. The things we need to add to this is Gibraltar and Hindustan. We also need the Leeward Islands. So we need to take that from the pirates, actually. With that said, let's go ahead and then turn and see where the enemy will attack us next. Opportunity to intercept. What I did to gain extra money is I actually moved away from the ports and started raiding their trade routes instead. So they were able to build a ship up here. I think this is kind of the Normandy area. So they move a single ship out. We're gonna have to resolve that. And we captured them even. We'll just add that to the fleet. Then I don't need to build a ship. Very good. Election results. We've held an election, which we really shouldn't. Oh, what happened now? It all became odd. Now, it seems to be fine, because these guys seem to have held their ground and are still in power. I'm not entirely sure what this happened. Ah, yes, one of the funny things that happened in Europe was that the Ottomans managed to push back the Venetians, and rebels took up position in this part of the Greek peninsula. The funny thing, though, is even though you can kind of see a Greekish flag, or not really, Finnish flag actually, it's not actually the Greeks, it's the Cossack hetman that have taken up position there, which I don't know why that happened, but that's very odd. What is this? Cool under fire, and it's got a sword. So this was this force right here. We might gonna want to go ahead and repair some of that. So we'll send them back to Portsmouth, and we'll repair them. This army is not fully replenished. It needs a little bit more to the cavalry. We have a single French unit running about, but I'm hoping the Dutch will actually take care of them. And then we will start to march. Or maybe I should march already. We'll leave the arquebusiers, and then we'll start to march already to relieve them of the fortress at Metz. Now this should be enough with our Dutch allies. Resistance to foreign occupation. Resistance to foreign occupation 12. Are they... They're gonna get even more angry. I built a church here, but the French keep burning it down. It has been able to... No, it hasn't even stopped the transformation by the Catholic priest that is here. Kinda really need to stop that bastard. Anyways, not much happening here. We'll go back to North America. Now, I wonder if... It's gonna take me a while before I'm able to actually march my troops out of these regions, because we have so much unhappiness. Now, I think we want to gain ground as much as possible. So that works. That works out just fine. So they can go ahead and join here. Now these guys gonna be a little... No, 12. That's not bad. If I exempt them from tax, that's 6, but the army does 12. So that means -1 though is not bad. What if I leave the dragoons, so the provincial cavalry, which is pretty bad unit anyways. So we'll merge these two and they should be able to march. And they should be able to march within 2 turns, be ready there. Now we should be ready to cross into enemy territory here as well. So we'll march out of here. Ooh. Okay, so these guys are a lot more unhappy. We would need the priests to go over here. It's only 5,000 people living here, so it should be rather easy. Now, the priests from the Virginia Company is moving into this territory. The thing is, it's taking so long to convert the island here that I'm wondering if I shouldn't send him back and deal with the Indians instead. This province is more or less pacified as it is at this point, and the army should be able to leave at this point. Thing is, I don't know if I have any more ships to actually yes, we do. Ah, yes, this one that I captured. We'll try to get that one to the coast of Africa, and then we'll put this one over here, and then we can use the sloop. Put the sloop there. Ah, you know what? This army can be put to use against the natives instead. Onto the ship and take the priest with you. We're gonna figure out another way at some point to convert this populace over to Protestant. So we're gonna move on the Cherokee, Savannah, Georgia. That'll be great, and we'll land and get ashore there and attack. Be really nice. Now we have 2,000 left. I think we want to upgrade maybe some of this areas just to keep them down. One thing is I had this exempt from tax just so I can get this little village up and running. I can build a church there and we can take out the influence of this priest right there, so that'll be good. If we go back to Europe, let's take a look. We've got 3 turns until fire by rank, 5 until shuttle, and once I gain the American territory, I'm pretty sure there's a school here. I can probably build a second school somewhere else here in America, so that'll be nice. But once again, I think it's time to end the turn and see what the enemy has in store for us. We should be able to lay siege over here, or at least see what they have. Right, let's go ahead and end turn. Right, so this is pretty odd. The Dutch aren't actually going to help us. So there's 1 French pike unit attacking against 400 of our men, so it's local populace and 1 militia arquebusier. We'll have to fight it because it's too even, but I'll probably not show all of it. I'll just show whether or not I defeat it or not. Now this fight is probably going to be a lot more difficult than I think. Just because the fact that there's a bloody lot of pikemen, isn't it? Okay, so this volley didn't take out that many of them. Good thing about the armed citizenry is they do keep firing, don't they? Right, let's see if you guys can move aside and leave room for the arquebusiers. Almost looks like a few of my arquebusiers were intentionally firing on the armed populace. Let's go ahead and surround the enemy unit. We did shoot some of our own. We shot 2 of our own, or 2 Belgian armed citizenry that were here to defend against the the Swiss pikemen. That's how you say it. Got another volley from the matchlock citizenry. Still nowhere close and actually completely destroying the enemy unit. Here's the result of that battle. I lost half of my men, which is maybe not that surprising given that we were facing the Swiss guard, or was it the Swiss guard? A Swiss pike unit anyways. They fought to the point where there were only 5 of them left. Or not really, they fought till there were like 16, and as they ran, we shot down 10 of them. So there was only 5 actually managed to leave the field. However, they took more than half of ours, plus they routed all the Belgian armed citizenry that we gathered around here. Not too many died of the main unit. No, it is 160, but we only lost 46. They killed 60. Even though the reload rate is really shit, so that took quite a time. Anyways, let the end turn continue to roll on. There we have it. The end turn is done. We've got a agent, a spy, which I do need. I'm not entirely sure why we managed to, or why we got him all the way up there in Moose Factory. Definitely need him down here. Now the priests have actually already spied for us, and they've already turned most of the populace into Protestant. 50%. They're mostly Catholic here still, but it's we're changing it very heavily at 36% plus. So this, and look at that, the religious unrest is already too high. Well, it's not going to get any higher because we're only switching out the Christian cults. So it's not going to get any higher, but as war starts, that could definitely turn into a lot worse for them. So we got a thief taker. We built some farms in the New World. A large army. Right. This one is on its way to the border. And, yes, this one couldn't move because the unhappiness was so high. Thing is, I really would like to move this one. No, before we go anywhere, we need to move the fleet. So we're gonna land every single one of the units next to Charleston in the Carolinas. And we're gonna leave the priest here as well. Then I've got another fleet. I forgot about this ship. It's carrying a gentleman, a scholar, and he has been trying to get past here. So there's a French navy kind of chasing them, but there's also this pirate navy, so I've been unable to really get past. What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go to the fishing port of Louisburg, and then from there we're gonna jump over there next turn. The little fleet here, yes, there's an army here that needs to be moved as well. Needs to be moved down south. So what they can do is they can move down into Philadelphia, and then this guy is going to come up right next to there and pick him up and put him down here. So we will be ready for our invasion of the Cherokee. It will only be a two-pronged attack. Was hoping for a three-pronged. Well, really the two prongs here are going to combine by marching both towards Tellico, Kentucky territory. Did I put... Oh yes, you. You were gonna try and pass over to Africa. There's a pirate fleet here, but I'm hoping you will be able to avoid it. It's a pretty big ship, so it could handle itself. Where did I put these guys? Oh yes, I put them ashore here. Right, completely forgot. We're still keeping these guys under lock and key, which is good. And that's all for North America. Let's see what we can do in Europe, most prominently right here. Oh, so they have nothing. I'll demand the surrender of the fort. And so this area now falls to us. What can I recruit here? Nothing much. What we want to do is we'll actually want to change this out, because we don't want the French to be able to recruit troops here or as easily. So we're going to burn that down, and we're going to build a governor's chambers just like up here. And do we probably want to change the religion in this province as well. There's a little bit of Protestantism, we want more. So we're going to burn this down, build another church. With this province now under our control, it's safer to build up this church, and so on. We do, I think, want to reinforce this region, because the French are most likely going to try and attack. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But for now, I think that's it for this episode. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!